Hello everybody and welcome to BroomWagon. You will not get there on a road bike. Probably you can hear the noise, the bells in the background, but I have to say that I just finished an indoor training session and I am in the same room where I have my training bike and I don't feel like closing the window. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're all good there and you're ready to tackle any kind of super nice adventure, or in this case I have to say weekend. It's a super amazing weekend, this one, isn't it? This is the weekend of Bespoke in Dresden, the amazing custom frame builder show happening at the airport of Dresden. I was there last year, if you want, actually, in my how would you say, something like in the list of my podcast, you will find the one from last year. It was just incredible. And I'm so bummed that this year I cannot be there. A lot of my friends are there. And also, if you want a sip, and you're there, if you are in Dresden Airport, and you want a sip of Zier, well, go and look for the Hunt people, or Hunt Wheels people. And there you're gonna find the best alcohol-free beer that you can find. Because it's my beer, of course, Zier Brewing. Go there and find it, or look on Instagram on that. And another thing that happens this weekend, is actually the World Championship of the Gravel World Championship happening in South Limburg, Netherlands. Amazing place, by the way, with a lot of up and downs, and seems like it's gravel paradise. And it's in the border between the Netherlands and Belgium. So this is actually the perfect link for the episode of today, where gravel, grit, and amazing bikes are coming together. But let's not go there just yet, because first of all, we have actually to start with let's say all the information that we need. Thanks a lot for being here. If you like this episode, go and share it with your friends. That's the most important thing that you can do. Or another thing that you can do is just share, and we said it already, but like, subscribe, and do whatever you want to do on your podcast provider of choice. 5 stars are the best thing that you can give me. But if you want to put 4, 3, whatever, put a comment. I really appreciate you being here anyways. If you have any feedback, Instagram, Calamaro CC, or the BroomWagon Podcast. I think that's it for now. So today I will interview in this episode. I interviewed him already 3 months ago, but all the stars align now today to go live with the episode exactly during the week of the Gravel World Championship in the Limburg. So I interviewed Pieter I'm gonna say it, but then I say it again also during the interview. Fortunately, Pieter actually corrected me and said it in the proper way, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Pieter Vanheeswijck, I think should be pronounced like this. I don't think so at all. He is the marketing manager of Eddy Merckx bikes. Amazing bikes with a lot of heritage, but also a lot of innovation. And they are really producing also some of the best metal bikes, in this case steel bikes, that I've ever seen around in the planet. And they have a good eye on a lot of good aspects. Sustainability is there, some production aspects, but the coolest thing that we talked about with Pieter was all the campaigns that they were doing and all the heritage of the brand, but the campaigns that they are doing, all the colors that are put in together, the innovation that they are pitching. And I have to say that this talk with Pieter was amazingly good. I said Pieter, and I hope this is the right pronunciation so many times, but now fortunately I will let you listen to me and him, especially him, pronouncing his own name properly and way more. I talk to you at the end. So people, if somebody knows me, knows really a lot, that actually, I don't know, if there is like anybody, I don't think I'm super special, but if there is one character that is really on my mind in cycling and in cycling world, this is Eddy Merckx. Since when actually I read the book from Daniel Freebos about Eddy Merckx, and it was something like 10 years back, I believe. And I was always fascinating on that. I knew actually that Eddy Merckx also at a certain point founded a bicycle brand And actually, I found out a few years back that this bicycle brand is still there under another umbrella, but it's still there and it's into a lot of celebrations. And we're going to talk about that today with, you're the brand manager, right, Peter?
I'm the marketing manager.
Marketing manager. So yeah, with Peter, I will try to find properly your name and surname to misspell it. Here you go. It's Pieter Vanheeswijck.
Yeah, something like that. It's
Sorry,
no worries. It's Pieter van Heeswijk.
Vanheeswijck.
Dutch. Yeah. But
It's
you were close.
yeah. No, don't say that. I was the most further away you could imagine. You're Flemish, don't you, Pieter?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why the
Fla-
pronunciation is a bit smoother and milder than the Dutch one.
yeah,
So
yeah. When I'm in an international company, I always say, "Just call me Peter."
yeah,
That's like always uh, speakable.
absolutely. From where in the Flanders are you?
From a very little village called Peer, born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an hour drive of the city of Brussels. Brussels being the biggest city in Belgium,
Yeah,
but it's nice and quiet and still close to the big cities. So I kind of like it here.
yeah. So you still live there? So born, raised, and still living in the same
Yeah,
area.
yeah. For during my studies, I studied communications. I studied in Leuven, also a big university city in Belgium.
Yeah,
But then I returned back home because I like it so much there. It's
nice.
yeah.
No, that's nice. That's nice. And I mean, it's super cool actually because I'm gonna talk about myself. Everybody thinks that actually the Flemish region is not super big, let's put it in this way. But the cool thing is that it's so different from one place to the other. I have been visiting so many different places, and any single village or any single area has its own personality, and this is so incredible. I mean, I've been to mention just a couple of places that I usually go for sure. I mean, I've been to Ghent. Also, my beer is
Mhm.
brewed there, so it's Zier Brewing.
Yeah.
And I went in Antwerp, of course,
Mhm.
and that's another place. And Oudenaarde is another place because I came there a couple of times for the Tour de
Like,
Flanders and
yeah.
everything around that. You can really recognize. I mean, you can see that there are different personalities on the
Yeah, it
area,
is.
and that's incredible.
It is, and still there. What all connects us is like a Flemish mentality of being humble and not being too loud,
That's
not
true.
being too braggy. But there are a lot of differences between the cities as well. And when you look geographically, Flanders is very interesting because you're in a 6 hour drive. You are in many big cities. You can be in London, in Paris, in Berlin. So it's really a cool central location. Yeah. So
That's
I like
pro-
living here.
yeah, I can imagine. That's why probably also one of the secrets of the vibrant, the vibrant kind of personality of the Flemish people. Passionate about a lot of things, but also super
Yeah.
keen to new things, and that's
Yeah, it
nice.
is. It is. But the super keen to new things is because we are used to adapt ourselves because we have been ruled by many different
True.
parties over the years. So we are extremely flexible in adjusting to new situations.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
Super.
yeah,
That's nice. Love actually this conversation. I think it can go super further away again,
yes,
but maybe let's start from the beginning. Beginning,
yeah,
Peter. Tell us more about you. I mean, you as a person, you professionally, so from a professional point of view, and you as a cyclist as well. Tell us more about that.
Okay. So Pieter Vanheeswijck, to say it like this, living in a small city in Flanders. I have a girlfriend and I have two small kids, two boys,
Nice,
2 years
nice.
and 4 years old, and very much into cycling and into music as well. Music was first. I'm a drummer. So I played with a couple of bands and played a couple of gigs, and I'm still drumming today, both in a band and also in a classical orchestra. So that,
Nice.
yeah, it's nice. It's nice. But and the other thing is, yeah, the cycling part that has grown on me over the years. Uh, as many people, I started to cycle on a decent level during COVID. There was plenty of time, and and I had a good bike, so I started cycling, and actually to get the ball rolling about Eddy Merckx, that was my first introduction to the brand,
Okay.
uh, because it was COVID, everything was closed, and the factory that is selling Eddy Merckx today, Belgian Cycling Factory, they had like a special offer. They delivered a bike. If you bought a bike, they delivered the bike to your door, which was very cool because you couldn't go out. Um, and I saw this. I knew I didn't know which brand bike I wanted, but I knew it had to be a red one.
Okay, nice. So you love red color then?
Yeah. But I'm coming from way back. I've not always been into cycling, so this is my touching base with BCF, Belgian Cycling Factory. So I saw this cool Eddy Merckx bike, and I thought, okay, Eddy Merckx, the greatest rider of all time.
Yeah,
This cannot be a bad bike, and it
absolutely.
looks cool. So I'm just going to order it. And somebody delivered it to my door, and I just started cycling. In the hilly parts of where I live, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it more and more and more. And like 2 years ago, I saw there was a job opening for marketing responsible marketing officer of Eddy Merckx bikes, and I thought let's give it a go. So I made the cool picture with me on the bike and stuff, and yeah, it was really a match with how the company saw Eddy Merckx and how I saw the potential of the brand. So here we are today.
Yeah, that's super nice. That's super nice. So basically, it was really a match made really a match that was actually coming naturally. You needed a bike. You found
Yeah,
out on a Demerckx bike. Then you rode it a lot. Then an open position came, and then you landed where you were supposed to be.
yeah, that's how I feel about it now. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of thinking through. It just came on my way,
Yeah.
and so it was a really nice process.
What bike was it?
It was a Lavaredo 68.
Okay.
Or you may not know that every bike name of Eddy Merckx is called after a certain victory of the cannibal.
Yes.
And as he has won 525 times, there are a lot of names to choose from. But that one was a Lavaredo 68. It was a good bike. Actually, it came from the test fleet of the company, so it had a really good price. It had Shimano Ultegra, so I still have it today. And a friend of mine, by last weekend, because I went cycling with my friends last weekend, one of my friends asked if he could buy the bike for himself. But I'm not ready to let it go yet. I
No.
don't ride it, but I still love it, and I have a place in the attic for it, so I'm not keen on selling it.
Absolutely. And what other bicycle do you have now?
Now I have the Pivel. It's way better than the Lavaredo, to be
Okay.
honest.
It's more
Yeah,
comfortable, isn't it?
yeah. You're right. It's more comfortable. It's like an all-road bike.
Mm.
So I bought it with the intention of riding gravel and riding on the road by just changing the wheel set. But it turns out that I'm a real roadie.
Mm.
I don't do much gravel, and when I do gravel racing, I just get a bike from the test fleet of the company. I ask the guys nicely, and I return it clean,
That's
so I don't
good.
have to fix my tires.
That's perfect. Ah, okay, that's perfect. So you use it only for the road, and then in case you need to race or ride gravel, you borrow it.
Yeah, just like this. Yeah.
That's nice. That's super nice.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's really perfect. Actually, I can completely understand. That's probably something that we're gonna touch base talking about Eddy Merckx and also the Belgian Cycling Factory. We're gonna touch base on something that he calls straight from the passion bucket. Seems like that's exactly a passion project of yours now, working for the company, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But the passion is ever growing because when I entered the company, I knew a little bit more about the details of cycling. But being surrounded by really cycling nerds, every second of the day is about bikes and about watts and about components, and I really like it. So you come aboard into the factory and you get like they pull you into the bath of cycling nerdism, to call it like this, which only increases my passion for the bike. Um, so passion for the bike is one thing, but passion for marketing and communication is another thing, because that was my education. I
Hmm.
studied mastering in communications. Um, so for me, it's like the two things I like are combined here. The only thing that's missing is maybe a little bit of music, but that would be very hard to combine into a cycling band. So
Um,
I keep that for my spare time.
yes, I mean, I can tell you this little story. I was talking with Dom Mason of Mason Cycling a couple of years ago. I mean,
Hmm.
we are still in contact because the thing that they are doing, it's super interesting. And they were last year, they were turning 10 as
Hmm.
a company. And so they did a couple of campaigns out of it. And one of those was actually a collaboration because they're manufacturing their own bikes. Everything is in metal, everything is really well planned and everything. And I don't remember the name of the guitar brand. It's a super famous one, super minimalistic. I think it's aluminum guitars and everything. And they did basically a collaboration where Mason uh, kind of planned and helped out with the material of a guitar made by this company. And on the
Okay.
other side, they made as well a bicycle with after the name of the company. So
Oh,
they could be
nice.
music. I mean, they could be music 100%.
It's possible. About speaking about music. You know, we have this collaboration with Capri Sun. Um,
Yes, 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 yes.
yeah, for the good cause of War Child. War Child being an organization that supports children in areas affected by war,
Yes.
in education and other kinds of resources. And there is a band. They are called the Analogs,
Okay.
and the Analogs, they are especially in Holland, in the Netherlands, they are very famous. They are like a huge Beatles cover band,
Oh,
and they
wow.
sold out like really big arenas in Holland. And
Yes.
they are doing like a cycling journey for charity
Yes.
from Holland to Ukraine.
Oh,
And
wow.
and they are riding it right now, and they are riding on Eddy Merckx bikes, because we had to link with
Nice.
Capriston. They asked us, can the guys ride Eddy Merckx bikes? And we
Yeah.
said, of course they can. And they're doing a really great job. I think their goal is to raise 300K euros for a good cause. So that's really great, and they
It's
are
incredible.
over halfway now, doing a great job.
Okay.
But it's a lovely company. They visited our factory a couple of times, and they are really artists, right?
Yes.
We only see cyclists who are, cyclists as you know them, and then we've got those artists being you more like the Beatles slash Oasis style of kind of guys,
Yeah.
not worrying too much about what's lying ahead of them, just living the carpe diem life. So which was a nice contrast. And they are riding the Eddy Merckx bikes today and tomorrow until they are in Ukraine.
That's incredible. That's exactly the kind of personality thing. And still, I mean, talking about brands, these are the activities that define a brand in terms of value and in terms of attitude and
Mhm.
everything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, working with artists, and you were mentioning it, we all know how artists are, right?
mhm,
So they live their moments, they like to be creative,
yeah,
they are not stopped with challenges, but so challenges cannot stop them. And this is
mhm,
kind of an attitude plus, including it also with charity and riding through Ukraine, kind of highlighting still, again, a difficult situation that is still there. This really
mhm.
defines a brand as it is, because this means actually also caring of whatever is around you, not only promotion, but also just,
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
no, it's super incredible. I really, really love these activities.
Yeah, it is. And the artist kind of stuff. I'm not a true art connoisseur, but I love to play with it a little bit because when it comes to artwork on a bike, there are lots of possibilities as well. Like I think just when I started, only more or less 2 years ago, we had a very cool collaboration with a museum. It's called M Leuven. It's a museum of Belgian art,
Hmm.
and there was like an old master. He's called Dirk Bouts,
Yeah.
and he has a famous painting, The Last Supper. You know, The Last Supper
Leonardo
of
da Vinci. Yeah.
course. Yeah. And yeah, Leonardo da Vinci painted it, but Dirk Bouts, he painted it as well.
Yeah.
And we did like an interpretation of that Last Supper on one Eddy Merckx bike, which
Nice.
turned out really cool. And that bike we auctioned for a good cause as well. So another link with the arts. Um, for me, it's very thankful to do something more with the brand than just selling bikes. As you said yourself, yeah, to determine what is the brand about.
Yes. Yeah, 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 absolutely. And I mean, doing special edition, special paint job, we're going to talk about that. For you, actually making some cool paint job is super easy, but doing special edition is something. But
Mhm.
then doing something for a specific cause or with some specific values in mind to open
Mhm.
to a different kind of public, or just to touch, actually talking about music, to touch the right notes to
Yeah,
people, that's super important. That's what I mean. We are sharing the same job. Actually, my main occupation is also in communication and marketing, and doing this kind of thing is different. Otherwise, you can always do the classic thing: sponsor an event, sponsor a
yeah,
game. But doing these special campaigns, it's what
it is
makes, first of all, our job fun, and that's
very
something that
true.
we need to consider. But also on the other side, making something, positioning the brand. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, there are some things that you should do as a brand, like being present online, having a good social strategy.
Hmm.
Sponsoring events is important as well. Having the website up and running. So you have to do the things other companies are doing as well. And then for me, I'm asking myself the question: how can we do more? How can we stand out from the rest of the bike brands? How can we get some good press coverage? How can we load the brand more so that people can resonate with it? That's like the top layer that makes a bike brand different than the others.
Special.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It is. It is.
Perfect. No, that's super incredible. And actually, that's what actually everything combined. That's what actually defines a brand, as you were saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
how would I put this? I would put it from the beginning. I told you that actually I was always a super good. I always loved actually Eddy Merckx as a character here in Italy, for example. He speaks Italian as well. I mean, he's super well known and
Mhm.
is a super amazing character. And then, of course, I knew that actually there was a bicycle brand with the name of it until then. 3 years ago, I think, I met your colleague Bert from Ridley at
Yeah,
this event. This media event is the Bike Connection Agency event in Massa Marittima.
yeah,
They
yeah,
were
yeah.
presenting it's called the Canso Adventure, Ridley Canso
Oh
Adventure. They were
It's a
presenting
real
it
nice
at here.
bike.
Super nice bike. It's incredible. It goes through everything. I enjoyed so much riding that bike on the trails. Massa Marittima is super famous for the trails, so I went with this one on the uphill and downhill trails. It was super amazing. But then when I was having the one-to-one talk with Bert and another colleague of yours that I don't remember the name, honestly, um, after having a conversation and recording some stuff, and when we had finished the recording, they were telling me, look, Stefano, understanding the character that you are a bit more, let's say, for sure related to cycling itself and the heritage, and also really interested in, how would you call it, traditional materials and stuff, you need
Mm,
to have a talk with Eddy Merckx, that is also part of our portfolio,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they are doing amazing things in the creativity field, and still creativity and traditional field that you probably would like. It
yeah,
stays there a bit, but now we are here up and running talking about that. So my
yeah. Nice.
first question on around this topic is, can you tell us a bit more about all the different kind of parts of the history of Eddy Merckx as a bike brand and company?
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting history. because when Eddie retired, he almost immediately founded his company.
Mm-hmm.
It was 1980. That's when he started building Eddy Merckx bikes. Of course, at first only steel,
Mm-hmm.
and he learned to craft in Italy with the Rossa. So he he had this like maniacal, how can I say it in English? He was a maniac regarding to materials. He want only as a rider he only wanted the best of the best, and he was always like adjusting his position, because during his career in the early years even he had a really big accident on the track, and he had some suffer of back pains. So he was always working on his best position on the bike, so he can solve the back pain and just focus on pedaling as hard as he can. And he bought that expertise also on his own bikes. So he was always looking for how can I make the best bike possible, which resulted in some really good steel bikes. And a lot of teams rode on Eddy Merckx bikes and won all the monuments on Eddy Merckx bikes. Like you've got the team Panasonic, you've got Team Capri Sun, of course, but also, for example, like Lance Armstrong rode on Eddy Merckx bikes in his Motorola days. Then we've got Team Telecom has ridden on Eddy Merckx bikes, and furthermore, in the carbon years, you've got teams like Quickstep. So there's only always the performance component of the bikes has always been there. Um, but there are two kinds of approaches. You've got the evolvement of the bikes, but then again you've got also the business side of things.
Mm, of course.
And as I said, Eddie only wanted the best of the best. But sometimes this is my personal opinion. Sometimes you have to make some compromises in doing business to get like the right price for your bike. And for me, personally, I think that Eddie only wanted the super high end materials, and he wasn't too worried. Uh, he wasn't worried about can I make enough money on a bike. He put the quality over the price tag, and both are equally important. So during those years, for him, it wasn't easy to get green numbers. He was a hard time. He had a hard time of making a profit with the brand. So that's why after a couple of years, I think 10 years, he sold a part of the factory to to an external investor. But that investor didn't have a lot of cycling expertise, so that wasn't a great match. And then there came a second investor who replaced the first investor, but they really hadn't the cycling expertise as well.
Mm.
And only in 2017, when the Eddy Merckx brand was near to bankruptcy,
Okay.
yeah, Jochem came. Jochem is my boss. Jochem is the boss of Belgian Cycling Factory, and Jochem purchased the Eddy Merckx brand to revive it again.
Yeah.
But to make the story complete, it's a long story, but it's a long history. He bought it in 2017. He did a sort of a relaunch, but not a really big one. It was the years that AG Dessert rode on Eddy Merckx bike. I don't know if you know,
Yes.
but for example, to highlight the steel heritage of the brand, Oliver Nase rode the last etape of the Tour de France at the Champs Elysees. He rode that on a steel Eddy Merckx bike, so that was
Yes.
really cool. But the relaunch was it came too soon for the factory. The factory wasn't ready yet, so and then COVID came. So Joachim decided, okay, what am I going to do during these hard times? And he decided, I'm going to put everything on Ridley, every material that is available. I'm going to put it on Ridley, and I'm going to put Eddy Merckx back in the refrigerator, uh,
Okay.
because the brand isn't mature enough yet to push through in these hard times. So we put it in the refrigerator. There were almost no bikes being sold, only Ridley bikes because of the big shortages in the industry. And after COVID, Joachim said, okay, the time is right. Now we can relaunch the Eddy Merckx brand. And that's when he hired me. And now we are 2 years in building the brand again.
That's absolutely incredibly nice. Yeah, it's all this kind of so I mean, it
Yeah,
looks
it is. So my main message was like, okay, he founded it. He had some troubles along the years with multiple owners of the brand, but now we hope that we are in steady water.
yeah.
That's like the short summary.
That's amazing. Let's talk quickly about one topic, and then we're gonna go a bit more into details about the brand itself and everything. But how much is the involvement of Eddy Merckx now in the brand with its own name?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and people ask me all the time.
Yeah.
The involvement is low at this time because, of course, he has 24 hours in a day. He's 80 years old. He has to choose on what things he focuses on. And the bicycle brand is something he loves very much. And I heard that he is curious about the numbers. Are the bikes being sold? But it's not that he's like still got a share in the company or
Mm,
something. It's just more about sympathy that he follows the brand. But it's not that he walks in here every week or every month. That's not the case,
okay.
which is a pity, of course. But I understand it. He's got a certain age. He has to decide for himself what he does with his scarce time. But on our socials almost daily we got questions from fans all over the world to get something autographed or to get a photo of Eddie. But we can't help them because Eddie isn't at the office anymore.
Okay, okay. But this saying actually about the involvement of Eddy Merckx on the brand, but actually the brand did something really cool, right? For this year, you were saying actually it turned 80 a couple of months
Yeah, yeah,
ago,
yeah, yeah.
maybe. You did something super cool for this anniversary, birthday anniversary.
Yeah. We did a couple of things. Uh, for the Eddy Merckx community, we organized a gravel ride. Because why a gravel ride? People ask me, Eddie was all about road racing. Yeah, of course, but gravel wasn't invented at that time yet. And then again, he won a stage in the Tour de France on a gravel track there in Strasbourg. So he is. You can tell Eddie is like maybe the first gravelist out there.
Also, because out there, I mean, there was not difference between road and gravel,
No,
because most of the time, a road was a gravel road. So,
yeah. It's like that. Um, why gravel? Because he had some gravel routes, but also there is already there are two Eddy Merckx routes on the roads. So
mhm.
we were looking at what can we do new, what can we bring into the table to build this further, and then we came with the gravel ID. It's a permanent signposted route, so you can follow the trails if you want. It's 80 kilometers,
Of
or
course, I mean, it makes sense.
yeah. It's 80 kilometers, and if 80 is too long, you can opt for a 40-kilometer route,
Yeah.
and you pass by some cool landmarks like the birthplace of Eddy Merckx,
Mm.
which has a statue and a really cool mural. And then you've got some landmarks along the way, which mostly Belgians know, like the Vlooiberg-toren. It's like a stairway to heaven. It's really cool. So if you're in the neighborhood, you should ride the route. So we organized that, the Eddy 80 gravel ride. We inaugurated it with 200 Eddy Merckx fans
Yeah.
uh, 2 days before his birthday. So that was really cool. Um, and then we did some other things because the gravel route was one thing, but we did like the Eddy 80 drop. That was two bikes with a special Eddy 80 design
Nice.
and a special Eddy 80 cycling jersey. Um, and I'm really fond about the Eddy 80 bikes because the design is cool, but what you see often is like a special birthday design. It's really expensive. It's only for the happy few. Even with Eddy Merckx, they I think when he turned 70 or 65, they had like special steel edition, and it was like 14,000 euros,
Ooh.
which was yeah, which was really good. Yeah, yeah. So and we discussed what should we do with these bikes, and we said, okay, let's let's make them available for everyone who wants to ride a bike. So I guess the price point of the road bike with the Eddy Merckx design is around 3K, which is
Oh,
very affordable.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's really affordable. And the gravel bike is a little bit more expensive, but still it's 5K or something with some force. So the mindset was okay. We have something to celebrate, and we want to celebrate with you.
Yeah.
So that's why we did it. And then the cycling jersey is a cool one as well because we've got a very good ambassador, being Le Coffee Ride. I don't know if you know the Le Coffee
Of
Ride.
course, I had an interview on Jeroen is the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a podcast interview with him on
Ah,
his
okay.
podcast, the Creative Podcast, I think it was
The
called.
creative
The
cyclist.
Creative Cyclist. I was in his
Ah,
podcast once.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was,
nice.
I mean, it was back in pandemic. It was 5 years ago, probably.
Yeah,
But from time
yeah.
to time, we talk between each other. Yes.
Yeah. I really love him as an ambassador. And he designs the clothes. He has a clothing brand, to put it better, and also a B&B in the Ardennes.
Yeah.
And we asked him to design the shirt with a nod to the Molteni past of Eddy Merckx, and he did a great job. So we've got those limited edition shirts as well. Yeah, it's a nice occasion to celebrate as a brand. So that's why we thought, okay, let's do four things, being the gravel ride, the bikes, and the jersey for Eddie's 80th birthday.
That's absolutely nice. And actually, in terms of numbers, the bikes was, you said two models, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, how many of those did you produce? Or it was just a paint job, so you could do whatever. You can scale it
Yeah,
quickly.
it's not limited. We can when someone orders a bike, we can just deliver it.
That's nice.
We want to change the limited edition. Sometimes it's cool, but in our mindset, it was okay. Make it available for everyone who wants a bike.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, if we sell a lot of bikes, that's good for us as well. So there's like a business side of things
Yeah.
as well.
So yeah, this anyway is a kind of sharing the idea and the creativity and actually the celebration with everybody, but also on the other side, the more we sell, the better it is. If it's not super difficult to scale it, why not?
Yeah. It
That's
is.
nice. No, that's absolutely super nice, and actually, it's a good way actually to celebrate with a personality that made bicycles and cycling, road cycling, what it is now. I mean, even now in the days of Pogacar, that we are all super lucky to live in.
Yeah.
But actually, if there is a reference all the time, is with Eddy Merckx. So
Yeah.
if
So
such an icon is turning
yeah.
80, you need to celebrate it properly.
Yeah, and I'm really happy that Pogacar is doing so well because the name Eddy Merckx is popping up everywhere, as you told before. Last year, for example, when Mark Cavendish broke the record of number of Tour de France wins, he has one more victory than Eddy Merckx. And our website and our socials, they just exploded. There was so many visitors from all over the world visiting us and getting to know Eddy Merckx. So I hope that those comparisons between Pogacar and Eddy will keep on going for the coming years.
Yeah, the last one was actually now, today, as we are talking, is Friday, July 11th. A
Yeah.
couple of days ago, after the time trial in the Tour de France, stage number 5, as I remember, Pogacar was the first person to wear green jersey, Pois jersey, of course, yellow jersey, all together in this kind of stage, not number 2 or number 1 or number 2, since Eddy Merckx times.
But
So again, the same
yeah,
reference.
it's crazy from a marketing perspective. You can do so much with Eddy Merckx. You've got the person, and every year, on almost every day of the year, you've come to celebrate something. Like, okay, it's like on this day in 1969 he won this race. On this day in 71 he won that race. So there are so many hooks you can work with to do something with your communication and your marketing. So you got the cyclist and you've got the cycling brand, which also has some cool stories. And that's why we did last year, like the Retrosonic range, a modern interpretation with the paint work of the Team Panasonic of the early 80s.
Yeah.
You've got so many things you can cherry pick from. It's really amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's actually a question that comes now then naturally because, I mean, for sure we're talking about, and I mean, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong there, but we're not talking about a huge brand. We are not talking about the Specialized, the Giants, the Canyon nowadays. We're talking anyways a niche, kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
a niche brand. Still present in the Pro Tour or Continental Pro Tour, but still a niche one. But
Hmm.
and also we need to consider also the Eddy Merckx brand and company in the landscape of a bigger group. So we mentioned Ridley. We were
Yeah.
talking before. There is also Nuke Proof. There are many other more brands in the same umbrella of the same big company.
Mhm. Mhm.
How, and I mean, yes, let's start from here. How can you position, how do you position then Eddy Merckx in the small scale, in the portfolio of the Belgian Cycling Factory, and in the big portfolio, in the big offer of the cycling world? How do you position yourself, and how hard, and how, I mean, how intense is to do it?
Yeah, yeah. It's a very, really good question, which we are struggling sometimes, even today. But let's start with how do we position it within the house of brands that holds Belgian Cycling Factory. From the four brands, Ridley is all about performance. They've got a lot of specialization, a lot of different bikes in every segment, and they're all really performance oriented. New Proof is the mountain bike brand. Ares is the e-mobility brand,
Mm-hmm.
and Eddy Merckx is like the modern heritage cycling brand. That's what we call it. It's more lifestyle focused and more colorful. We distinguish ourselves because we've got a limited number of bikes. We don't have the segmentation and the specialization of Ridley. We do, for example, Ridley has I think 8 or 10 different gravel bikes, and we have 3 gravel bikes, which is also a lot, but the geometry is the same, but we've got a carbon, a steel, and alloy version. So actually, it's one bike.
Mm-hmm.
Because the spirit of the cannibal, of Eddy Merckx, he was one rider who could do it all, and we want our bikes to do very versatile as well. So the number of bikes is limited. The modern heritage aspect in our branding is different, and we've got the colorful aspect. And what do I mean by that? We are a configurator brand. So you've got on our website a really exhaustive configurator. You can go very far in creating your own dream bike, regards to color, cockpit, specs, etc. And there's no surcharge, so you don't have to pay more if you want a bike 100% to your needs. And that's what differentiates us from the other brands inside BCF, but also from the other brands in the cycling industry. And of course, there's only one brand that can call itself Eddy Merckx, so that's a big advantage for us.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I would love actually to touch base one single time on that.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, again, that's what I actually had the feeling checking your website and your bicycles. Of course, I mean there are the bicycles that are a bit more into the, I would say, performance and being fast and whatever, and they are the ones that are a bit more comfortable. But my feeling is that any bike of the Eddy Merckx portfolio can do it all. So it's good for many kind of yes, for many use. And this is exactly actually to resemble the, I mean, the name itself, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And what's important for us is the geometry as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you've got a lot of bikes that can go really fast, but you have to be like more or less an athlete to be comfortable on it. And the geometry of all our bikes and every segment is really forgiving. It's very
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
It's really nice to sit on the bike. So that's something that's typical for Eddy Merckx as well.
That's perfect. No, yeah, that's great. And also talking about the configurations, that's a conversation that I had with Bert actually 3 4 years ago when I was in
Mhm.
Massa Marittima. The fact that you have a painting factory uh, really close by you, and this would actually help you out on giving all the solution on the solution to the customers. Why, what was the idea behind it? Because usually maybe some of the brands, they prefer actually to bring home different things, for example logistics, to have everything under control there, or maybe the production if they are a bit more into this direction. But for you was the painting that also
Yeah.
has a huge impact anyways, also in the Honestly, that's what I see also in the sustainability facts. Because one thing is to import different bike and in different section directly from the further east and everything back home. And another thing is to bring and to produce just one model in a raw color and then make the colors everything at home.
Yeah.
So this is also a factor. But you tell me what are the factors, because probably I'm going too much further.
No, you're on the right path. But as I told you, the personalization is really important to us. There are actually, we don't have like a stock of certain models in a certain color. Every bike that's being ordered is tailor made. So it's extremely important to get those things right. We need to be able to adjust fast and to control everything. And I don't know if you know the principle of a paint shop. I will not go into details because I don't know the details myself, but I know that it's extremely hard. It's
Yes.
extremely hard to get it right, and there are so many factors. Um, that's why it's so extremely important for us that we want to keep it close by. And Joachim, our CEO, he started as a painter. Uh,
Ah,
yeah, and I heard this crazy story from a couple of years back. This is about Ridley, so this is not about Eddie, but I just wanted to stress out the importance of the paintwork for us at Belgian Cycling Factory. There was a team riding in the Tour de France on Ridley bikes, the Lotto team, and I believe it was André Greipel who won the stage, one of the first stage, and he got the yellow jersey. And our boss said, "Okay, we've got to give." He won on Saturday or something, or he won on Sunday. I don't know. He won on a day that the factory was closed,
okay.
and he got the yellow jersey. So what did Joachim do? He rode to the factory himself with a colleague of mine with him, and Joachim painted the frame himself. He
Craziness.
yeah, yeah. He painted the frame himself. He did everything himself, and they shipped the bike. Of They brought the bike to the Tour de France, and the next day, Greipel was riding the yellow bike. So it's like,
Freshly painted.
yeah, freshly painted by the boss. So I think it's really great. Yeah. So I think he thinks it's important as well. So that's why, yeah, it's too complicated to let it to elsewhere regarding to the quality control that is really necessary there. We have to just keep it close by because especially for Eddie, every bike that we sell is a custom order, so it has to be done right.
Yeah, and also on the other side, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's way better to, how would you say, something like tailor make in terms of colors every bike instead of doing 500
Mhm.
bikes of the same color and then the year after, okay, we change everything, blah, blah, blah. Then next year, instead of having it red, it's gonna be
Exactly.
dark blue and the other ones, okay, this is an old, in terms of business, this is an old stock, or even worse, okay, nobody buys this one anymore, let's put it in the landfill.
Exactly. Of course, it's expensive because we live in Belgium. The wages are high.
Of course.
It will be very much cheaper to just mass produce some bikes, but this does not fit the company model. So that's why we do it like this.
That's
And this
nice.
is really what differentiates us from a lot of other brands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's incredible. That's another point actually to talk into the positioning topic that we were discussing before. We need to touch base also in another thing, materials, right? I mean, the start of Eddy Merckx as a company was steel, high
Yeah.
quality steel bikes. This heritage, I think, comes until now. And I read a story or I heard a story that one of the, I would say, original frame builder was still working with the company until a few years back. I don't know if he still does. So the heritage on steel is there and you're still doing it, and that's actually super important for the company. But there was also an evolution. Now you have also carbon bikes, right? And something else that is coming.
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
me
of course.
us tell us a bit more about the materials and the importance of it for the company.
Yeah, okay. Carbon is like it's what the norm is, or how should I say it? It's what the average cyclist needs and wants,
Yeah.
not needs but wants. So sure, we do have the carbon expertise and we do have the carbon bikes. And when I look at the numbers, we are selling the most carbon bikes
Okay.
because that's the most in demand now.
That's the
So
market. That's the
yeah,
market demand, right?
that's the market. But of course, the heritage is in steel. Like you've got the Corsa and the Corsa Extra bikes of Eddy Merckx. If you can see them online, they are quite expensive. If you want to buy one in a decent state, you have to pay some money for it. So it's like really a name as a clock in the steel bike world, and it's the heritage of Eddy Merckx. And this is really the modern heritage. We've got the steel bikes with the today built with Columbus components, so
Yeah.
it's high-end steel. It's not imported from Asia or something. Nowadays, it's made in Italy. Columbus tubing, and then only high-end components. So you got a real top-notch bike,
Yeah.
which looks timeless, is really cool, and it's something that no other cyclist has. So it's very important to us. And the story is true. There was until last year, because Johan is his name. Johan is the first ever employee of Eddy Merckx.
Yes.
Yeah, he had only one job during his whole working life, and that was welding frames for Eddy Merckx.
Nice.
Yeah, and Eddie picked him out of the class when he was 16. Eddy Merckx came into like a school, and he asked who wants to come and weld frames for me, and Johan raised his hand and says, "Okay, I want to come with you." So Johan joined Eddy Merckx to De Rosa to learn the craft of welding bikes, and afterwards he welded his whole career for Eddy Merckx bike until last year. By the end of last year, he retired after a cool career, and
Getting
we
some rest finally.
yeah, he took some rest finally. He was a really great guy. He had some really nice stories about Eddie to tell. But now he's retired, and we moved the production to Italy because Eddie learned the craft in Italy. It's nice to keep it in Europe, to keep it quite local. That's why the frames are being produced in Italy now.
Yeah. Ah,
Uh,
okay.
so we've got the steel at the moment we've got the aluminium, the alloy as well. Those bikes, we will phase them out. They are price quality wise, they are great bikes, but I think in the future we will aim for the more high end bikes, and that's when titanium comes into place.
Here you go. You presented a titanium bike at Eurobike, right? Let's go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, it's really nice, and the titanium also comes from Columbus, so it's Hyperion, it's what it's called. So it's got the strong Italian link. Yeah, I think we all know the benefits of titanium being light and extremely durable, and it looks super cool.
It does. It
Uh,
does.
yeah, and that's something. This is really like a passion project of the R&D department as
Hmm.
well. It's really for the brand. It's cool to have a titanium range. Then again, it's really niche. I don't think we are going to be very rich from the titanium bikes. Um, they will not be mass produced, but they look so cool, and there is an audience that is really into those classical, timeless looking bikes. And this will be only a really high end range with
Yes, makes sense.
starting with Shimano Ultegra and SRAM Force and SRAM Red and Dura Ace, just to have the really cool, super high end bikes with possibly even a suspension fork on the gravel range.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Okay.
it's cool. It's really cool. It's something. Yes, yeah. We can go quite crazy on those titanium bikes at the factory here.
Yeah, that's nice. And when so it was presented, probably it was a, how would you call it? A test model or just a
Yeah.
showroom kind of
Prototype.
model, a
Prototype.
prototype.
We call it prototype.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And when is gonna be available then?
Q4 this year. So around October, November, we are planning to make the bikes available.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
The thing that we are working on now, because I have told you many times how important the paintwork is for us, we are now looking at how can we Eddy Merckxify the paintwork. How can we do something extra than the other titanium bikes? But this is really hard because titanium is such a specific material, and you have to have another way of painting the bike. So we are still exploring the opportunities here.
Yeah, because main way actually that you can change the color of titanium, let's see if I can pronounce it, is anodization.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anodization, whatever. You know what I mean? It's basically putting some electricity into a specific, liquid, putting the
Yeah,
frame
yeah,
inside and put some electricity in order to change color. But otherwise, there are not so many actually painted titanium bikes in the world. Maybe Curve does some of those, Mosaic, or still it's anodized. I don't know, but it's. I know what you mean. You have the
yeah,
expertise, you have the painting
yeah.
facilities, but still,
It's really it's hard, because you've got Cerakote options, but of
circuits. Yeah.
course when you buy a titanium frame, you want to show that it's titanium. So
Yes,
the titanium look should be intact, but we are looking at which accents can we add to give it a real Eddy Merckx touch. So this is the interesting process we're in today.
that's nice. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can imagine. But yeah, it's a good challenge, and actually knowing that the boss of the full company has also some experience on working on the colors of the bikes,
Yeah,
then
yeah, 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 of course.
we are in good hands on that. For sure, we're
Yeah,
gonna see something different.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's, that's nice. And yeah, we were talking actually about then the big campaign that you did for the 80th birthday of
Hmm.
Eddy Merckx. We talked actually about this new bike, titanium bike you presented on Eurobike. That's something
Hmm.
else actually in the news for Eddy Merckx at the moment. What are you working on, if you can disclose anything?
Yeah, we are in exciting days actually, because we are working on a new performance bike, being the 525. That's named after Eddy Merckx's total numbers of victory.
Yes.
Um, and he is almost ready. So now at this bike again, I'm repeating myself. We are looking into what kind of paintwork will we do, and we've got now. I don't know if you know, but we've got a team riding on Eddy Merckx bikes, Team Flanders Baloise.
Yes.
They are not World Tour, but they are a development team who and the riders are riding the big races like Tour de Flanders and Paris Roubaix last year, but not this year.
They are
So
also in cyclocross, don't they?
no, they are not in cyclocross.
Okay, then I'm mistaken with something. I'm
No,
sorry for that.
but some of the like the riders that like Oliver Naasten, Victor Kampenaerts, they come from that development team.
Okay.
So it's a really cool team, and their goal is to give young riders the chance in the world peloton, in the world tour, because it's challenging being a young rider. You've got every major team has got a Devo team, and if you're not a really great talent when you're 17, it becomes hard to get a pro rider, to become a pro rider. And this team,
Especially in Belgium, where there
yeah,
are
yeah,
so many.
yeah, it is. But this team gives riders the chance, even if they are a little bit older, between brackets, because they are like 22, 23, to prove themselves. And for example, this year they've got a rider who is 26, but he's only racing for 3 years.
Yeah,
He is a phenomenon. He is so good. He's so he's so good that he will take a job in a world tour team next year.
nice.
Um,
What's his name?
yeah, Jonas Geens.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a really talented bloke. But and apart from him, there are a lot of different talented guys who deserve a contract in a bigger team. But that's why they are there for, to prove themselves.
Yes.
And we support the mission of the team, and they will be racing because I'm circling back again to the topic. The team will be racing some prototypes of the new 525 in the second half of this year.
Already.
uh, yeah, because we want to make sure that the pros can test them, so we
For
can
sure.
make some adjustments if needed before we launch the bike for the general public.
That's
So it's
incredible.
cool. They will be camouflaged, but they will still look really cool. It's something we can you can expect starting from September, October.
Okay, so they're gonna start raising it soon, and then this is gonna be actually available 26 or September,
Yeah,
October.
26, at this time, January 26th. But of course, if testing proves something that we still need to fix, we have to postpone the deadline.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a new performance model in carbon, and also a new carbon gravel bike is being developed right now. It's also really cool, and that's scheduled for May 26th.
Okay. Because you're
So
also involved. Sorry, you're also involved in some racing. So you also support somebody racing gravel, or is just for the whoever wants to have it can pick it.
We support the guys from the Team Flanders, Team
Hmm.
Flanders Baloise. The guys who
Yes,
want to ride gravel, they can do it on bikes, on our bikes.
still.
So, for example, we are going to give one titanium bike to a rider of Team Flanders Baloise, and he will ride most likely the World Championship gravel on a titanium Eddy Merckx bikes. So that's really
Nice.
cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the titanium bike is going to be the gravel bike or also one of
It's
those all-road?
Yeah. The titanium. Good question. The goal is to have like two different types of titanium bikes, but we will start with the gravel bike, and then along next year somewhere we will have like an all-road model with a big tire clearance you can ride on road and on the gravel. Because with our steel range, the Costa range, we've got three segments: road, all-road, and gravel. And we see the most bikes are being sold in the all-road and in the gravel segment.
Yeah.
So for the titanium, we won't be offering just a road model.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Perfect. Still, and this is actually walking us to the end of the episode. You talked already about the Capri Sun, right?
Hmm.
And we were talking about this kind of yeah, this kind of project that you're doing together, together with the musicians and
Yeah.
collecting some funds actually for the charity and Ukrainian war and everything there. But this was also part of this super cool project because that's what you do actually. I'm talking about Eddy Merckx, but that's something that happened as well with Ridley. You're doing this super cool because I think that actually the paint job it's easy for you to do. At least you did a lot of research, so now it's easy to do. At the beginning, I mean, you had to
Yeah.
invest into that, and you did it.
Yeah.
Uh, but going back into these traditional kind of campaigns, going back a bit to the vintage kind of word, it's
Mhm.
something that you do. And tell me more about actually this campaign with the special paint job and special edition bike that you did with the Capri Sun because it was super amazing. And I was talking about Ridley; they did the same with the 711
Yeah.
bike, right? So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for us, uh, you said it correctly. We are a niche brand, and we are always looking on for some cool hooks to get people to know the brand. So we work with the museum, and this was a nice collaboration. We had some good press. Um, but I was digging into the past of the brand and looking for potential partners, big partners that could make Eddy Merckx step up a notch. So a good partnership should bring both parties to a new level. Um, and that's when I found out about the Capri Sun team. It was a rather small team. It wasn't a big team. They did not win the Tour de France,
yeah,
but they were quite cute. The outfits looked good,
yeah.
and it was the start of the coaching career of Patrick Lefevre.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the sports director there, or assistant sports director.
Yeah,
And I thought, okay, maybe I can do something together with Capri Sun if they're up for it.
yeah,
So I just started to get in touch with the guys through LinkedIn. I just messaged the CEO like, "Hey, Mr. Wening, I've got an idea. Maybe we can do something together." And by chance, he is a cycling enthusiast, and that's the benefit of having a name like Eddy Merckx. It always opens doors.
of course.
People always, oh, okay, Eddy Merckx, oh, why not? Let's have a listen. And then we talked this through, like, what can we do for each other? Why not do a limited edition bike and maybe some apparel with it? Um, but yeah, it's we don't want to make money on it. We have to do something for charity. And then the idea came because Capri Sun is heavily involved with War Child
Yeah,
at the Good Cause, and they said, okay, why not do something with the three of us together? And then the design of the bike came up. The original design of the bike was quite boring. It was just a gray design. So I asked our designer, Luc Doucet, I asked, Luc, go crazy and come up with something that will make people stop their activities and get them looking at the bike because it looks so special. And Luke did a great job with the colorful finish. It really has like a Capri Sun feel.
yeah,
And it was a fun campaign in preparing it, and the press reception of it was as well very good. Mostly from the cycling press. In my head, my goal was a little bit to have the lifestyle press on board as well, like in the weekend edition of the papers, but I did not manage to get the bike in there. But the cycling press was really keen about it, so the output was good. But for me, it could have been even bigger. But yeah, you can't control everything, of course.
Absolutely. No, but that's a good thing. I mean, always trying to get the right key to make a story out of it. Because otherwise, I think whatever you do with this name, especially in Belgium, you can be in the press every day. But being
Yeah.
in the press with a huge name that you have, plus with something
Oh, you-
creative that stops people flipping the pages,
Yeah.
that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, that was the whole idea actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Peter, I think that actually I bottomed up every of my questions. I don't know. Do you have anything to add?
Not really. I enjoyed the talk. Thanks
Me
for
too.
having me.
I mean, next time probably we're gonna have another interview. We're gonna only talk about communication, branding, and strategies. This also will be super nice. I can feel actually that. I mean, probably you just telling me the top of the
Yeah.
iceberg, the tip of the peak of the iceberg, because I think that actually below there is a lot of other ideas that you are cooking, not still live, or they still have not been pitched to your management. Because I
Yeah,
truly have the feeling
yeah,
that that's how it's I mean that's how your job and actually your daily life looks like, having a lot of ideas, put them together and make something concrete out of it. But you're already doing a lot of super
yeah.
cool things there in
It's
the market,
exactly
so
that.
that's nice.
Exactly.
That's nice. So Peter, then thanks a lot for our lovely amazing chat, and I can't wait actually to see anything more on coming out actually from the news and from your website. And now I'm really keen of looking around and trying to spot new models from road bike coming from Eddy Merckx, of the
Yeah.
new titanium bike being raced around, and this would be amazing.
Yeah, they're very soon. They're coming up very soon. So just keep an eye, and you'll see them appearing in your feed shortly.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Cool, Peter. Thanks a lot for the amazing chat. Have an amazing rest of the day. And maybe, I mean, we're going to meet soon. I have, as I was telling you, I have my brewery up there in Kent that are preparing my alcohol-free beer. So maybe one day I can make everything together. Come in there, visit the factory, come in there, visit your factory, and having a ride together. This would be nice.
Yeah, it would be super awesome.
Yes, that's perfect. Peter, thanks a lot.
Bye.
I truly believe that I really need to go and visit the headquarters of Eddy Merckx and also Ridley and also Nukeproof and everything in Belgium really soon. If you want me to do it, put it in the comment. Probably Spotify is the best place where you can put a comment, or just drop me some coins. Down below there is the coffee link, and then you can actually give me a bit of budget, I would say, to send me and the BroomWagon podcast directly into factories and do some live podcasting from this amazing place with these amazing people. I really appreciate if you arrived till here, and so if you arrived till here, it's probably the time to subscribe to this podcast, to the BroomWagon podcast, and to put 5 stars rating there. Another thing that you can do always, apart for dropping some coins, coffee link down below, is also share this episode with your friends. That's super important. This is the most important thing that probably you can do, because I don't care so much about the algorithm. The most important thing is as many interested people as possible are listening to the BroomWagon podcast. And what else we can say? Yes, Calamaro CC, BroomWagon podcast on Instagram if you want to send me a message. If you are at Bespoke this weekend, enjoy it a lot. If you are at the Gravel World Championship, I'll enjoy it a lot. Please, if everybody's here or there, send me photos. I told you already where to find me. And I give you a huge hug, and I will talk to you soon. New things are running around. Bye bye.